Hello there, this is Doris Benter, and welcome to the program today, where we will be focusing on a wonderful picture book called Sam's Sandwich by David Pelham, and we'll be creating a really delightful paper craft, which is what I call an expanding picture, because if you look at it, it looks like a sandwich, but it's going to have a few surprises in that it expands, and inside are going to be some clever little surprises that go along with the story. So we're going to start by reading the story, and then I'm going to walk you through how to create an expanding drawing based on the book Sam's Sandwich. Let's get started with the book. Sam's Sandwich by David Pelham. Samantha liked to sit and dream of donuts filled with chocolate cream, giant burgers, heaps of fries, frosty shakes, and cherry pies. Shortly after Sunday luncheon, Samantha wanted more to munch on. "Oh, Sam," she wailed, "what can I eat? I need a really special treat." "Let's get some butter and some bread and make a sandwich, sis," he said. His sister yelled and jumped for joy. "We'll make a good one, boy, oh boy." "Come on, Sam, I'm starving, quick, and spread that butter really thick." "Don't worry, sis," smirked Sam. "You'll never eat a tastier sandwich ever." I wonder what he's got planned. Samantha said, "I've never seen lettuce leaves so crisp and green, but as a zesty little filler." Sam popped in. Let's see. A caterpillar. In the fridge, Samantha found big tomatoes, red and round, but in the garden, Sam had dug a hole and he found a slimy, nothing there. Nothing there. Uh-oh. Slug. Samantha gave Sam's hand a squeeze. "Just come and try this yummy cheese." But in the pocket of his pants, Sam had saved some big, black, ants. Ew, yuck. "I think," Samantha said, "I'll flavor it with some watercress, my favorite." Meanwhile, Sam thought he would try to add some flavor. What has he got in that hand over there? With a, fly. Right in the watercress. Not for me, thank you. All right. And here's a tasty little number. Samantha sliced a huge cucumber. But to really make her squirm, Sam dropped in a wriggly. Get ready. Can you guess? Earthworm. Right there. No, thank you. And some hard-boiled eggs as well. Samantha drooled and cracked a shell, but Sam had seen a silver trail that led him to a crunchy, can you guess what it's going to be? Snail. "Don't forget this huge salami. I only wish we had pastrami." But Sam had found right there beside her a very large and hairy, what could it be? Spider! "Gosh," she shrieked, "more favorite things," slicing off some onion rings. One ring contained a little hole in which Sam slipped a small, can you guess what it's going to be? Tadpole. Samantha yelled, "It's finished there," slopping ketchup everywhere, but one last treat it seemed to need. A creepy, crawly centipede. Licking ketchup from her lips, She reached her sticky fingertips toward the plate and snatched the bread. "Won't you have some, Sam?" she said. "Oh, thank you, sis, you're very kind, but count me out if you don't mind. I'm full, I'm stuffed, I really am, so you can have it all," said Sam. So here it is, a big sandwich, but we know what's hiding between these delicious different foods. So this is the inspiration for our own little fun sandwich, but ours is going to be made out of paper, and it's going to look like a regular sandwich with a top slice of bread, a bottom slice of bread, some lettuce, and whoops, a few little surprises in there. Let's open it up and see how it expands to show us all the fun things we can put into our sandwich. Some of the things weren't even in Sam's sandwich, but we can add whatever we want. Okay, let's get started in the next film. See you in a minute. Okay, so we are ready to begin to start our craft, which is inspired by the book. So we're going to be making an expanding paper card inspired by the Sam Sandwich book. So once again, our paper is going to be an expanding drawing that starts folded, looks like a regular sandwich, and then we're going to be able to expand it and show all the fun toppings in our sandwich, along with a few critters that we tuck inside. So the way we're going to start is with some basic materials. You're going to need a sheet of white copy paper, just 8.5 by 11. You're going to perhaps want a pencil. Definitely going to want a black marker. I used color pencils to color my sandwich in, but you may also use crayons or markers, whatever you have. You may want to use a pair of scissors towards the end to cut the edges of the sandwich off, so that's optional, but you can have it if you want. So we're going to do 2 simple folds to start the project, then we'll stop, come back, and begin the drawing. So let's just do the folds right now. So you're going to make sure your paper is in portrait orientation or vertical, lengthwise standing up. You're going to start by taking the bottom of the paper and bringing it up to the top and just simply fold it in half. 2 simple folds, as I said. Just take your fingers and pinch it down nice and flat. Give it a good pinch all the way across. Now, you have 2 layers of paper here from the fold. You have a bottom sheet and a top sheet. You simply want to take the top sheet only and fold it back to that fold line you just made a moment ago. So here it's curved back. I'm going to press down with my fingers again and give it a nice firm crease all the way across, so that now you can see how the drawing will turn into an expanding drawing later on, okay? So we're going to stop right here. In the next short video, I will show you how to draw the sandwich, which will create the outside shape of our sandwich. And then after that, we'll talk about drawing the inside, okay? Let's get started in just a moment. All right, so now we're going to transform our folded paper, which we just did, into the base sandwich, and then we'll open up the expanding card and then do the inside. So we're going to draw the top layer of bread, the bottom layer of bread, and a little bit of the toppings in between. Now, you will probably want to use a pencil and have an eraser nearby. I like to do this in marker just so you can see it a little easier. So again, go ahead and follow along with pencil while I work with the marker. So we're going to treat the top part where there's no folding as the top of the bread. And like Sam's sandwich, we're going to treat it as sort of like a thick slice of bread. So we're just going to kind of give it a ripply kind of rectangle that goes across the very top of the page. Don't worry about the excess paper up here. We can get rid of that later. I'm also going to give it just a little crusty edge. So I'm going to mirror the inside of the line that I just drew, kind of make a little echo. And then I'll put some little seeds to show this like a grainy bread with, you know, the dark colored seeds you might see in bread. So that's our top slice of bread. Now, one of the first things that Samantha put was some lettuce leaves. So we're just gonna put some green wiggly line to represent a lettuce leaf. And we'll make sure that there's a little bit of green up there too. So we'll have, when we open it up later, there'll be lettuce leaves on the bottom and there'll be some lettuce leaves up here on top. And underneath the lettuce leaves, I believe she had some slices of Swiss cheese. So I'm gonna put some rectangle shapes with holes to make Swiss cheese shapes. And then what else? Oh, she had those delicious tomato slices. So we're gonna put some big circles here for tomato slices. And then I'm going to put the bottom of the tomatoes with these little rectangles. And then tomatoes usually have these little seeds, so I'm gonna put little seeds going around in a circle pattern to suggest the little seeds within a tomato. And of course, we'll use some red color pencil or marker to show off that part too. Now, below here, I'm now going to take the rest of the paper and make that like the bottom of the bread. So just like we did before, I'm going to echo the inside of the bread like it's crust and put some seeds down there. So what I'm going to do now, which is not the usual order of doing things, is actually I mentioned to you that you might want to have a pair of scissors. So if you did not go over your drawing and marker yet, don't worry about that, but go ahead and take your scissors with everything still folded together and go ahead and cut around the edges of your bread so we can get rid of that excess paper on the top. Remember to keep your paper folded, and you're only cutting along the outer edge. You're not cutting in between. You're not going to cut your sandwich in half like you normally would. You're just giving it a little shape before we go ahead and open it up and start adding the details on the inside. So let's do that. I'm not cutting it on the bottom where that fold is. I do not want to do that because that'll break up my sandwich. So now I have that sandwich shape and I'm ready to add the inside, okay? So you can go ahead and go over this with your marker. And in the next short video, we're gonna start coloring the outside of the sandwich and then we'll draw the inside and add some color there as well. See you in just a moment. Okay, did you have a chance to go over your lines and marker and maybe trim around the edges? Remember, you don't wanna trim down here because you're gonna lose your fold if you cut it. So that's why we did not do any trimming down there. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just going to add a slightly darkish brown for the edge of the crust here. And this is just color pencil. But again, crayons, a dark brown marker, any of those will do. And I'm just going to detail just the edge of the crust to remind me of Sam's sandwich. And I really liked the way it looked on the book cover. So if I show you that again, you'll notice there's this kind of wonderful brown edge around the bread and the little air pockets, which I treated as seeds. So I'm going to leave that because I really liked it. And I think it makes a great connection to the book. And down here, same thing. Just going to take some brown color pencil And if you want to go all the way down, you can to the edge of the paper. I'm just gonna go with the edge of my bread right here. And then what color would your bread be? Maybe it's a white bread, maybe you want to use a peachy color, maybe it's a tan. I like to use a couple different colors. So I think I'm going to start with this kind of pale, what's it called? It just says bicolor. This is like a double-headed color pencil. I didn't even know that was double-headed until I bought it, which kind of makes it fun, I guess, but certainly was a surprise for me. I thought I was buying singular color pencils. So anyway, this brand, if you're interested in it, with a double-headed color pencil, is called Sargent, as in like the military, S-A-R-G-E-N-T, Sargent brand color pencils. And they give you that fun option of having a bicolor pencil with 2 colors. And this is not an ad for Sargent color pencils, but they're a good student grade color pencil if you are looking for a basic color pencil to use. Again, crayon would be great for this if you have crayons or light markers. But when you're doing large areas, color pencils are a little faster than markers, I think. So here we go with the bread. And here, you know, I might even take a marker and instead of doing, you know, the seeds with color pencil, I like to combine different materials. So I'm just gonna quickly dot in those little seed shapes. Some of them kind of look colored in already, so maybe I'll leave them alone, but others look like they could use a little color like that. So there's our bread. Now we did say that this would be lettuce, and I like to add a little line to make it look more lettucey, like the little wrinkles and veins and lettuce that you might see. And I think I'm going to use this is a really fun light green color, and it's a well-used color pencil, as you can see, because it's so short. This, by the way, is a different brand of color pencil, and they aren't normally this short. It's just one of those colors I like a lot, so I've used quite a bit of it. And this is a Prismacolor brand. So again, just different brands to help you out if you're looking to purchase. Prismacolor is another good student grade color pencil. And as I told you, I was going to bring the green up here so that we're going to have lettuce at the bottom of our sandwich and at the top. So it looks a little bit more continuous and doesn't look like I'm going to unfold it. So there's my green. Then we're going to need some golden yellow for the Swiss cheese. I think even with the holes here, I think I'm just going to color them in all yellow. I might even put a slightly darker green on top of the green I just put down because it's so similar to this yellow. And the nice thing about color pencils is that you can do that. You can have fun layering colors. So maybe I'll take this, and just to give it a little bit more of a pop to the green, I'm just going to go over it with a slightly different green. You see how it stands out a little better next to the Swiss cheese part because I'm adding a little bit of a darker green on top. It's good to experiment with color pencils and try out the different combinations. Okay, next we were going to do the tomatoes. I'm just going to add a little bit of grayness to suggest a shadow within the, you know what, I have a better gray here, I think. A little bit of grayness to suggest a little shadow within the Swiss cheese. Little holes. You could also do it with a black marker if you wanted. Okay, so for my tomatoes, I'm gonna want a nice red to really make them look like ripe delicious tomatoes like Samantha was craving for her sandwich. And again, just to vary it a little, I might use more of an orangey red on top. So I'll move this over here. Please remember, when you're doing a project like this, where I seem to be moving at rapid speed, that you can always feel free to stop the video, slow it down, say, oh, let me catch up before she moves on to drawing the inside of the sandwich. Not a problem. That's the beauty of watching a little videotape. You can even turn the sound off if you just want to watch me color without hearing my voice. That's absolutely fine, because you can kind of see what I'm up to without feeling like you have to hear, you know, every detail of every step. So do what you want to do. You could make these green tomatoes, yellow tomatoes, orange tomatoes. Again, tomatoes come in all kinds of colors, so don't feel like they have to look just like mine. Okay, so we basically have the outside of our sandwich completed, and now we're ready to open it up and start drawing the inside. So we're going to start at the top, and if you remember what I said, you see that little edge of green there? That is really part of the lettuce leaves down here. So we're going to put lettuce on here twice because we want it to feel continuous, like it was meant to be there. So let me do that. I'm going to put some of those little vein lines, whatever you want to call it, that you normally see in a lettuce leaf. And again, we'll do the same thing I did before. A little bit of that fun light green first. I suppose some people don't like this kind of green, but I like it, so I'm going to use it. You could use more of a grass green if you wanted that. And then again, I'm going to go over it with another green, just to vary it, brighten it up a little bit more, so it's not too pale. And you don't have to be precious with this. You can have fun and stretch it out a little bit. Okay, so when I open up the one I did originally, and notice I'm not doing it in the same exact order. Here I did Swiss cheese first, here I did lettuce first. I didn't add the insects yet. I think we'll do that a little later after we see what's happening, okay, with the different layers. So I'm gonna put this aside. And we did add Swiss cheese. Then we did add tomatoes. Another thing she liked was she was really excited about having hard-boiled eggs. Now, I do like a hard-boiled egg once in a while, but I don't think I'd really like one in my sandwich. I'd rather have, like, probably egg salad sandwich rather than have a hard-boiled egg, but, you know, we're gonna make this just a light color with maybe some peach over it. And I think I have a peachy color. Let's see. Right here. Here's some kind of peachy color. It looks a little bit more like an egg color, because eggs aren't truly super white anyway. So we're going to make it more of a peach color, similar to the bread. And then we'll give it a bright yolk, orangey yolk in the middle. So let's find some orange to really make that yolk stand out. Okay. She talked about liking salami, and she had wished that she had pastrami. So let's make some little ellipse shapes that will look like a layer or two of pastrami. And I think of the pastrami in this book was kind of purpley. So you see how there's like a purple with some little line patterns? So maybe we'll do a purpley color for our pastrami. I think that would work pretty well. I have some purple here. And then we'll use like a pink to make the kind of dots that are in that pastrami that we saw. So we have this other, we can kind of do this, little circles of pink. And even to bring them out more, I'll just take my marker and I'll kind of go around them where I've done the purple. That's our pastrami. Again, we don't have to go in the order of the book. It's fun to just have some things that you like. Now, I know she loved ketchup. She was slopping ketchup everywhere, so let's make some sloppy red ketchup, which is a great opportunity to bring something bright like red in. So I'm going to go over that pencil line. Again, you might be doing pencil lines while I'm doing the marker, or you can do marker with me. And we're going to put a nice bright red layer of ketchup. In fact, you may even want to, the way I used the brown marker before, maybe you want to really make that ketchup stand out. You could easily go over this with a marker, a red marker, and really make it a red, bright ketchup. People love ketchup on so many things. Eggs, hamburgers, hot dogs, you name it, they love ketchup on it. I think that another thing they had in the sandwich was cucumbers. Of course, cucumbers. So why don't we add some cucumbers now? And those two are going to be like little coins with the ellipse top and the sort of triangular bottom. And we'll also put a few extra in here. You don't have to make it one layer, you can make it a couple layers. Okay, so we'll get some greens. And maybe here, you know, again, I'll go back to a marker rather than use a color pencil. Marker can do a great job here for you. And then maybe I'll even use a dark green marker for the edge of the cucumbers. These could also be pickles. You love pickles? I love pickles. I used to love them as a child in particular, but pickles are really fun to eat. So you can make these pickles or cucumbers, because you imagine what you might want to have in this funny sandwich that has all of Sam's surprises in it for his sister. Of course, you wouldn't really do that for your sister or brother, would you now? Would you really put bugs in a sandwich? I think only in stories like this does that happen. I'm not trying to give you any bad ideas. And since I have a little bit of room left here, I'm going to go back and fill in that little bit with more ketchup and more red, just to brighten it up a little bit with a different red. Okay, what else? Oh, there were some onions. There was watercress. Why don't we do the onions? No, actually, let's do the watercress, which is sort of green and leafy, but it's going to be a little bit more leafy than the regular lettuce is, because it's got smaller leaves. If you've never had watercress, it looks like little tiny leaves of lettuce, like this. So that's an example of watercress. Doesn't taste the same as your regular lettuce, but it is a fun little addition you could add to a sandwich for sure. I think people would like that, minus the bugs, of course. So I'm going to use this yellowy green to fill in this watercress. And see, keeping the colors light like this, later when we go back and add the bugs, it'll be a little bit easier. Don't want to get too dark, because that might make it difficult to see your insects in your sandwich later. Okay, next I know onions, red onions, and what I do for onion rings is I like to do a swirling pattern to really show that this is an onion ring shape. And I might do another layer here. You see, you don't have to be super fancy here. Just have some fun. Okay, now we're going to need some purple for those onions. Have you ever had red onions on a sandwich? They're kind of a pinky purple color. So I'm going to make the tops purple. And I think I'm going to make the sides more of a pink color. So here's the top of my onions. But on the sides, as I said, I'm going to make that more of like a pink color. So that's red. This is kind of a purpley pink, so I think this, perfect. It's like a magenta. Perfect for the side of the onions to really show that these are onions. I think that really makes sense. Like that. And up there. What else? We've got most of the things that they put in here. So now we can start using our imagination. Maybe you want to put some turkey. Here's some pieces of turkey. Little slices of turkey or ham or whatever you think you'd like on your sandwich. And if it's going to be turkey or ham, I think I'm going to go back to my brown. And I'm going to make it maybe tan and brown. So I'll put some brown first. And then I'll go in with that beige color. And I think that I will do that next. Because turkey is usually a kind of a light color, unless it's roasted turkey. And then, I don't know about you, but have you ever had avocado on a sandwich? Oh, I love avocado. So I'm going to put some avocado slices here. And avocado is usually green. And yellow. So I'm going to do a little green on the edge. Then I'm going to bring that beautiful yellow color in that I always think of for avocado. So it's sort of like this. That reminds me of an avocado. A little green to hint at the skin. And then, of course, that inner part would be maybe even a bit more of a golden yellow, like, think like this color. Slightly different. Okay. And then what else could we add? Oh, let's put some more cheese. Oh, well, let's finish the lettuce here. Make the lettuce feel a little bit more finished. So we'll put that green back in there that we were doing before. And then maybe we'll put a little bit of mustard or ketchup or mayonnaise or whatever you guys want. put there before we start adding our insects. How about some American cheese? I think that would be good. American cheese slices, because, I don't know, people say you can never have enough cheese. So we're gonna put some bright orange with a little yellow orange mixed in American cheese slices to finish up our sandwich, I think. I know that American cheese comes in yellow, and sometimes it comes more of an orangey color, depending on what brand you buy. So I'm gonna make it a little bit of both. And there you have it. You have your basic sandwich from top to bottom here. Now let's go back and think about the insects. Okay, so on top of the lettuce, there was a little caterpillar. So you might just want to draw in that caterpillar. It's crawling around, minding its own business. I mean, this caterpillar has no idea what it would be doing inside of a sandwich that Sam made for his sister. So there's my caterpillar, right? I'm just gonna put a little eye and a little smile. Maybe a couple little antenna. What else? On the onion, there was a slug. Oh no, on the eggs, there was a snail. So why don't we put a little snail, a little spirally shell with a little snail coming out. We want that snail shell to stand out and look kind of fun. So put a little color into it. Yellow. There. There's our little snail, our little caterpillar. On top of the salami, there was a spider. So maybe this is spider's body, and the legs are coming out here, getting into the ketchup. So there's a spider. In the ketchup, there was a centipede, and centipedes are super long, skinny, almost like the caterpillar, but they got all those little tiny legs. So we have to put lots of little legs on our centipede and give it an interesting color, of course, so it stands out. So I'm going to make it kind of a bluish color. Okay, and on top of those cucumbers, we had an earthworm, a lot of worms. So an earthworm, we're gonna have it swirling over here, like a snake, with a few little lines in it. And we're gonna have to lighten that up because we want that earthworm to stand out. So we're gonna put a little white on it first to lighten it up. And then maybe we'll put some blue on top of that. Like a light blue, so it stands out a bit more. Okay, there's my earthworm. What was on top of that watercress? Oh yeah, a fly. That shouldn't be too hard to do. Here's a wing, here's another wing, little legs, and you got yourself a fly. And I'll make the wings, I've got a better gray over here. I'll make the wings kind of grayish. But I think I'm gonna make the head black. One thing I don't like on my sandwiches is a fly. Now, in terms of the onion rings, there was a slug. There was a slug in the onion rings, and it looked sort of like, look almost like a tadpole. Okay, and we'll make that something a little brighter so it'll stand out with a little orange. So you want these hiding in here, but not completely viewable. What other things can we think about? We can think about, oh, the ants. Maybe we put the ants over here on the turkey, and I'll put a couple ants. Because ants always seem to be coming in and getting on everything, right? So we'll make those ants right here. All right, what else? We're gonna add can you think of an insect? Oh, how about a ladybug? How about a little ladybug right here? I think a ladybug would be really awesome. Need to find a black. Oh, no, that's a brown. We'll find a nice dark. Oh, here's one. We're gonna put a ladybug. Where did I just start that? We'll put it right here where I was working. A little ladybug. Not harming anybody, right? Ladybugs are awesome. And we'll put some little legs on our ladybug. And little dots. So I have to use a marker for that. Little dots. So there's a ladybug. So what do we have? A centipede, a spider, a snail, a caterpillar, a fly, a slug, ants, a ladybug. Is that enough for you? Well, let's take a look. Let's fold it all up now. Oh, see? The only thing that I have revealed here is my little ladybug. So there you have it. You have Sam's Sandwich. You can read the book, and then you can take your own drawing that you've created, open it up, and expose not only all the delicious layers of food, but those tricky, sneaky surprises. In fact, maybe you want to invite somebody to try to find all the bugs in your bread and sandwich fillings. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I really enjoyed making this sandwich expanding card based on the delightful book Sam's Sandwich. I hope you'll read it, get it from your library, and enjoy creating this craft. This is Doris Benter of Library Arts. Keep creating. Bye.